So if you go to the U.S. military and the policy planners' own official documents about the weather, you encounter things like the 1996 document where it was called Owning the Weather by 2025. They talked about taking over the air in the electrojet and administering the water. Now you have scientists this year that are going to put a hot air balloon up in California to try to mitigate the drought by blocking out the sun. But if the U.S. policy planners and military were writing in 1996 about wanting to be owners of the weather by 2025, you don't think that in all these years they've just been sitting by, not doing any weather experiments. You know, people writing to me saying things like, I'm not aware of any weather experiments in Humboldt County. The problem is people aren't looking up. Now, the U.S. military also lists climate change as a national security threat. So if they were planning to take over the weather, like they talk about in their own documents, you don't think that mitigating against climate change would fall in that agenda, maybe even more than being able to control the crops and things like that? You know, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, because now scientists are doing, like David Keith in California, it's open, they're going to do stratospheric aerosol injections to try to mitigate against the climate change of the last 20 years. But it's all fake, because they're reacting to something that's fake. You know, they're blaming fossil fuels, but we don't look at how these atmospheric heaters and all the other arsenal of weather manipulation tools, we don't look at how this has really been affecting the climate, so ultimately rendering void the climate models. Now you have someone like Bernie Sanders, who, when asked what he thought about mandatory vaccination, replied that he thought it was a good idea, because, and he contradicts himself. He says, because vaccines work, we don't want unvaccinated children contaminating vaccinated children. Wait, hold on. I thought if vaccines worked, then the vaccinated children should be safe. And now you're seeing, not only in California, but other states like Iowa, where parents are really being criminalized and ostracized and marginalized for not wanting to vaccinate their children. So health services will actually come door to door, in the case of Iowa, looking for homeschooling parents who haven't vaccinated their children. People are having the police called on them for not wanting to vaccinate their children. California, you can't send your children to school. In Australia now, if you don't provide proof of the fact that you've been jabbed, you can't get on social benefits. This is targeting the poorest of the poor of the world's population. And it makes people afraid to want to have children, which is really the goal.